Hey everyone, it's Alex. It's a rainy day out today, so I decided that I can make a couple videos on YouTube today. So today I'm going to talk about how I felt on all my CPA exams, and I'm going to talk about my exam experiences. So first of all, I started by taking AUD exam. The process of getting the NTS was a struggle. I was trying to balance when I can take the exam and when I'm going to get the notice to schedule and my class, because it was towards the midterm of my school exams. So it was pretty difficult. So right after I got my NTS, I scheduled my first exam 2 days after I got my NTS. So it was kind of in a rush, but I knew that I just can't wait anymore. I have to take it, otherwise I'm going to forget what I learned. I started studying for FAR in the beginning, and then started to study audit right after I finished that. But I decided to take audit first because it was more of a memorization exam. I think that I can learn more things in 2 days than I can learn for FAR. So I took audit first, and because the time that's scheduled for the exam was so close to the time I have my NTS, so I couldn't really find a spot in my state that I'm sitting for. So instead, I drove to another state. I got a hotel the night before so that I can prep myself for it and I have less stress. So I drove almost 2 hours to go to another state, go to their prometric center. And the night before the exam, it was nerve-wracking. I could not sleep at all, I tell you that. I woke up at least 10-12 times during the night, and I was so afraid that I would sleep through my alarms and I would not be able to take the exam. So my exam started at around 7 o'clock, 7:05, even though in the beginning I signed up for the 8 o'clock exam because Prometric usually open a little bit early so they can let you test if you asked if you could. So I started the exam about 7:05 for audit. In the beginning, the multiple choice questions, I thought it was fairly similar with the Becker practice problems. And as of their simulations, I think that it was a pretty good comprehensive examples of what Becker really taught you. But the only thing that I would say is maybe emphasize more on the non-traditional part of the audit courses, maybe like learn more about IT, learn more about the non-cost functions, not the more of a formula oriented. I don't know for other exams that other people are taking, but at least for mine, I will focus more on the IT part. For the other ones that I took, simulations, MCQ, I think that they're all pretty similar to what Becker offers you. So I think that as long as you do well in Becker, you should be fine. So back to my exam experience. So in around 3 hours, I would say, I finished all the multiple choice questions and the simulations for audit. I basically rushed through all the MCQs because I did not know if I have time for the simulations because I heard the simulations is super difficult. So after I finished all the simulations, I still have about 15 minutes, an hour left. And I did not know that I could not go back to the modules that I already completed. So I kind of have a bunch of time on hand. So instead of just checking the last module that I did, I just submitted the test. At that point, I was like, I either did really well, or if I didn't do well, it's probably I did not get enough sleep because I felt comfortable passing the exam based on what I saw. A lot of the exam forums that I checked out, a lot of people said, if you think you did well, you did not pass. If you think you didn't do well, you passed. So that mentality really messed me up because I thought I did fairly well. So I didn't know if that was a good sign. So right after I took the exam, I went on the exam forums. I went on Reddit, I went on Google, on so many different websites just to reassure myself that feeling good after an exam might not necessarily means that you did not do well in the exam. Another thing I want to point out is on AICPA's official website, they said that if you did well in the first module, the MCQ module, the difficulty level increased to hard to your second MCQ modules. And that really messed up with my mind as well, because in my opinion, the longer the questions are, the harder they are. At least that's how I think. But I think that the second MCQ questions I got was actually easier because the questions got more simpler, and I just think that it was not as difficult as the first testlet. So I would say that if you feel like you did better in the second module, don't sweat about it because you might still end up passing. And there's really no telling what is considered difficult for AICP and what's difficult for you. In my opinion, if you finish all the studying review material, if you feel comfortable with all the exam modules, if you know what they're trying to test you, everything should not be that difficult as long as you have the basic gist of it. I didn't have anything that come out of left field on my exam. I think that the only thing that I did not know, maybe some weird number of years for me to memorize. I did not memorize those. Other than that, I think that I basically seen everything on the exam on my studying review material. So I would say that for audit, just go through all the whatever material that you're using, just go through all the material and go through them at least twice if you don't feel comfortable about the material after first time reviewing it. Just do it again, because it's $200 to take another test. It's pretty expensive. Doesn't matter if your company pays for it or you have to pay for it out of your pocket. The 4 hours that you saved by not retaking it can be applied in your studying before your first exam. And it's really discouraging too if you have to retake it if you don't study well enough the first time when you go in and take it. So that was my audit experience. I did not get enough sleep, but for some reason I was still pretty awake during the test. Maybe it was the adrenaline. I did not drink any coffee or tea. I just drank water, but I didn't dare to drink too much because I did not want to go to the bathroom during an unscheduled break. On that note, I did take the scheduled break. I did not just sit through it for the full testing hours. I did take the 15 minutes break. I went out, I stretched my legs, kind of move around, exercise a little bit, just walk down the hall and back so that I can get my blood flow a little bit better. So that was my first testing experience for audit. If you guys have any questions on that, leave a comment below. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thank you.